Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. It is Kelty speaking, and I'm virtually beside the beautiful Sav, who's looking very alarmed in this moment. Are you okay?
No, I'm okay. I multitask with a stopwatch and my GarageBand behind the scenes. I use GarageBand. I don't know. Maybe I'm a grandma with it, and I'm good. I'm chilling. Just had to get it all up and running. You know, someone's got to run the show.
Is a garage band? Do you run the show? Is that what we're saying?
No, Kelty runs the show. Let's be real. I'm the editor.
We both run different things.
We do.
We run different things.
Harmonious. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Match made in heaven. Match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
How's your weekend been?
Weekend was great. You know, relaxed. And our two friends moved here, Millie and Simon. We met them in Huntington Beach, and they just had to, you know, follow us around town and move to Puerto Rico as well. But that's been really fun having them here. They're like, you know, when you first move somewhere, you're like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. They're like, I want to go try all these new restaurants. And this weekend, Michael and I were like, we did not want to see humans. We were like, I want to just spend time together. And boy, oh boy, did we have people knocking down our doors saying, come hang out, which I'm happy we did because I love hanging out with people. But we just thought it was funny because we're like, they're in that moment that they're like, we want to go to dinner, we want to do all these things. And we're like, okay, yeah, because they're so excited. I'd be sad if somebody, when we just moved here, was like, no, we're going to, you know, watch The Last of Us by ourselves. We don't want to hang out. But realistically, I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Oh my God, I know that feeling of just like, it's a magical time when you go to a new location and you're like, oh, I got to get in my new routine, find my new favorite places. But I do have to say one shout out to what's it? It's called This Is Us, That Is Us. What's the new?
The Last of Us?
You're watching? The Last of Us. Shout out, guess where that's filmed?
Vancouver?
No, even better. Edmonton, in my hometown. Yeah, so like there, and Calgary, it's like it's all filmed in Alberta. So if you see like a rundown legislature building, that's Edmonton. What's up? Finally on the map.
What? Do you guys have like normal rundown buildings or what?
No, it's all CGI. It's all CGI.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah. But it is just funny because I didn't know the show was actually a hit because it's all over my social media, like Daily Hive, and you know all those like city Instagrams, like it would be like food from your city or news from your city, like those kind of things. Mm-hmm. All it talks about is that. So I just assumed it was just because it was filmed in Edmonton. And now I'm learning everyone's watching it. So
are you going to watch it now?
Yeah, me and Megs are that we're saving it because that's going to be like our show when we're together. So I'm holding back. No spoilers, please.
Okay. I have so many questions for you. All I want to know is if the haunted hospital's in it that you were a part of when you were young.
Ooh.
Right? Well, that'd be a good one.
I'll let you know. That would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Oh, I was just saying it's 10 out of 10. But if you want to watch, and I think a lot of the girls would like this too, and guys, if you want to watch a fun show, it's called Physical 100. Have you heard of it?
I have. Actually, I have a funny story. I could have been on it, but keep going.
How? It's in Korea.
I know.
Wait, how? No, you need to tell me.
Well, actually, I don't. Okay, so I think it was this show. All I know is my manager messaged me like a year ago, a couple months ago, and it was like, there's this Netflix show that's like it's like a reality Squid Games, but with like they're looking for really fit people, and they're like, we put your would you want to do that? I'm like 100%, and they're like, oh, I was like, what do I have to do? They're like, oh, we already submitted you, but looking, I think it was just I haven't watched it, but I'm like, oh, was that what I was rejected from?
Still, that's amazing.
They do. So I'm like, it could be another show, but like, I don't know, there's only been so many Netflix Squid Game-esque physical shows, so I'm gonna assume it was that one.
Totally. Well, to give a rundown for people that don't know, it's essentially like it's influencers, it's YouTubers, it's bodybuilders, it's gymnasts, it's Olympic athletes, and it's essentially to see like who has the best physique, you know, like regardless of how much they can lift, like realistically, are they well-rounded as an athlete and can they survive? And it's literally the Squid Games minus people dying, of course. And it's dubbed over. So they speak Korean, and it's funny because like, you know, it'll be dubbed over in English and like The translations will be different sometimes. But it is fascinating. Like they start off with like dead hangs where they're like just hanging, like to see who can hang on the longest. And like,
Yeah.
it looks like the weakest looking person would like hang on the longest. And it's just so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. You should watch it. We started it with Millie and Simon, and we were like, oh, I heard it on a podcast. And I was like, well, I would love this. And also imagine if it was an American one, because it's a lot of YouTubers and influencers. And I would have freaked to like, I don't know who would be on it. Like, I don't think I would be on it, but yeah, Kelty, not me, but like still, like that's our thing. Like we love that space. Yeah. So like, I think it'd be so fascinating because so many of them, like a guy would walk in and they're like, oh my God, I was just watching him this morning on YouTube. Like they love YouTube there. So yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Oh my God, I will definitely watch. And I hope it comes to North America. And now, you know what though? Now I feel a little better because I got rejected probably because I can't speak Korean.
Yeah.
I'm going to say if it's all in Korean, that makes sense.
There's a
maybe
German
they bring
guy
it to America.
But he speaks Korean. Oh. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's, if I have one regret in life, it's not learning another language. As someone who's trying to learn another language, it does not come easier with age.
Preach. How was your weekend, though?
It was magnificent. It was my first weekend where I didn't have anyone else's schedule. Like I could just fully do everything I need to do. Like gotta do my laundry, gotta clean my apartment, gotta go to my workout, gotta pick up my errands, gotta deliver, you know what I mean? A very adulty weekend.
Yes.
But I've been traveling so much and just like other people's schedule, people visiting, all this. Like I just haven't had time to do laundry on the weekend. So it was just, I feel very organized on a Monday, not being like, oh, well, you haven't slept. So it feels good. It feels good.
I love that. That's amazing. Good for you.
Not exciting. Not exciting for the viewer, but I feel whole.
Sometimes you need a weekend where you like do your own thing and like you don't move at any pace other than what you want to do. That's the best feeling about weekends is like you don't have anything usually. Like if you just plan a free day and you can like go get coffee if you want. You can go walk to the beach and then you can go for a run. Like I love that feeling.
Fully. What's your thought on the 3-day weekend? Because that's seeming like, I don't know for you guys, but in Canada, it seems to be more and more companies are like not adapting it, but they're like, maybe.
Like you're telling me they're thinking about like only having work 4 days a week?
Yeah, so there's a big study in UK, I believe it was, that they've done in the last few years, and they just tested productivity of people having 3-day weekends versus 2, and like productivity stayed the same, if not went up. And it's just kind of the idea of it is there's so much wasted time in people's 9 to 5s. Like there's a lot of like little tasks people do. And so the idea is like, why don't you just cut that off? People actually get a full weekend. Because like, it's funny, we say that very few weekends, I feel either the whole weekend, you just have fun and then you're set behind, or you actually get stuff done, but then you have no time with friends or family. And it's almost like there's not enough time in a weekend to organize your house, organize your life, and be social. You got to pick one or the other for the weekend. So it's kind of the idea of like give people enough time that they're more productive, more efficient at work. And it seems to be all the studies say that efficiency is equal, if not better. So like a lot of companies are considering it. So it's kind of a hot new topic.
I personally think that's amazing. I think that'd be fantastic because like, when people, their life revolves around work, their friends revolve around who they work with, because that's, like you said, 2 days is not nearly enough to like really essentially have a quote unquote life like outside of your workspace, depending on what your job is. So I could definitely see that. I just don't know, as an American, I don't know if American companies would do that. They work you to the bone sometimes. That like, I just don't feel like that hustle culture would be into it.
Yeah, it's true. But just to play devil's advocate, a lot of people are just like consumers and like workers and are just kind of demanding it. They're like, I'm more efficient. And I think there's a bit more, I don't know, some of the bigger companies are a lot more progressive. Yeah, like Google's like that. And just like the more understanding of let's just make people efficient. Let's not just like fake work them, because like there's a lot of fake work, I feel. Do you know what I mean? People at 9 to 5, it's like, and so I think I'm not a specialist in this, but I think if it's Google starts to do it and then Meta does it and then, you know what I mean? It's a trickle down effect. It could happen. It could.
I'm here for that. I mean, I had a sales job and like the company I was with was very much like, hey, you have salary and you have commission. There was not like clocking in. It was like show up when you want, leave when you want, as long as you get the job done and you perform well. And I actually liked that mentality opposed to something you would clock in for, because I had a job like that and I hated it because I would just sit there wasting time because I'm just trying to make the hours pass. But when it was actually something I could like kind of take control of and like I was in charge of like how much money I was making or how many clients I could hold, or even like I would go to work. This is when we lived in Seattle. I'll wake up at 5, go to work at like 5:36 when nobody was in. That way I could leave early. So then I had like more of an evening or afternoon, like doing whatever I wanted in the city. And they never cared because they're like, well, Sav's getting her job done. So I could see like, you're totally right with just because you work more hours doesn't mean you're going to be as productive.
Yeah. And I think a lot of companies might get on board because it reduces the turnover rate. Like people are more likely to stay in a company, and that's like one of the easiest way to stay efficient, just have people not quit. And so that could be the one thing that sways people. But that's just the rumor on the street. I am clearly not a professional economist. Is that a word? I don't know. It's like micro and macro.
Idea. Oh. Speaking of
economist.
There you go.
Yeah. Someone has been getting delivered The Economist to my apartment for the last 6 months.
Really?
And I think they don't and so I have to take it out of my mailbox and drop it on the mailroom floor, and then they come and pick it up. And it's been like 6 months, and I don't know if they have realized it, because like if I'm gone, suddenly they just don't get it delivered for a month, and then suddenly they get 5 at one time, and it's all late. Like,
True.
I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to let this person know. I'm like, it's the wrong address.
Why don't you write it on a Post-it note next time you drop it off?
Oh, smart. Mm-hmm. I'll do that. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, yo, you're not in this apartment.
Yeah.
Check your address.
Check your address. You want to know something wild about my address?
Yes.
I don't have one. I literally don't have one. Yep. That's a thing.
Okay. I have a question. How did I got you a gift from your registry? How do they know where it goes?
It goes to our friend's house. That's our address that we use. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I haven't gotten it yet. I'm excited.
I will let you know. I don't know if it's because I'm Canadian. I got it a little while ago. It says delivery expected May. So I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Like I just was like, oh, this seems appropriate, and I bought it. And then I got like an email from Amazon a week ago, and it's like finally delivered, expected date May. I'm like, well, you got something to look forward to. I'm sorry, it's gonna be so late.
That's amazing.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's something.
Just know it wasn't me.
Okay.
That it was that late.
You weren't procrastinating, but it's so strange. Like, yeah, this address. When we were buying the house, it was a problem because it didn't have a proper address. When we signed the deed, it doesn't have the proper address. I had asked the president of like this community, and she just said, oh, people just use a P.O. box because addresses are confusing. And I guess you could. There was a way to like write it out, because we have like little mailboxes in the front, but that's not where you get your packages. So you could kind of write that out. But the homes don't even have numbers. It is the most confusing thing in the entire world. But we just kind of go with it, and our friends are the kindest people ever and let us ship our packages to them. So it always works out.
I love that. Good friends. Mm-hmm. You got a backup plan, because that is really random.
So
like,
random.
How did you just not have an address?
Dude,
I guess like
it's a question I ask all the time. And like we have friends in this neighborhood. They don't have addresses either. They're just like, yeah, it's normal. I'm like, how is that normal? And so when I tell people how to get here, I mean, they usually know the neighborhood because, small community, or they will like, I'll drop them a pin, and that's how I do it.
Yeah.
You can't look up the neighborhood. You just have to know it.
Addresses is so funny, because when I moved to Halifax from Edmonton, Edmonton's a grid. It's all number, higher, lower, left, right, southwest, like super
New
easy
York.
to understand. Exactly, exact same. Then I went to Halifax, and everything's just a street name. And I remember being like, this is so inefficient. You just have to memorize all the streets. And I remember getting in a fight drunk, not an actual fight, but an argument drunk once with this one guy on the football team. He's like, no, like, how are you supposed to just remember numbers? That's so confusing. I was like, how are you supposed to know where Moose Street is? At least 48th Ave is 48th, and then you go to 49th. And like,
that is
and
fair.
he's like, and our streets, and I was like, our streets also have names. Like, some are Jasper Ave, but Jasper Ave is also 104th. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's just a funny thing. Addresses, they're very hot topics in some sort of way.
No, for sure. I love it.
But let's dive into some other hot topics, which would be our 7 hottest items of I think we're going to call this like winter spring. Is there an actual, you know what I mean? There's a specific season where it feels like spring, but it's still winter. What is that called?
No, I would call this spring, Kelty. It is March 6th.
Is it spring?
Yes.
Well, I'm still in my parka, so this is still winter
What
up
would
here
you
in Canada.
consider? The groundhog, I think it's like the end of March technically is when the groundhog's like, all right, spring's here.
No, he predicts if it's going to be long. Let's see. I thought
it
first
was
day of
March
spring was like
21st.
end of March. Yeah, it's still not. We're still in winter then. So that's why I was
we're
like, this feels a
prepping.
little springy. I know. But I'm just saying this beginning of March is weird. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of winter, kind of spring. We'll call this spring. But it just is, as a Canadian, it's really funny calling this spring when I still have to wear a parka.
No, that's
for
fair.
survival.
I'm out of touch because I live in 85 degrees every day. So
Yeah.
someone's
So
got to
nice.
do
Must
it.
be nice.
Someone's got to do it.
But it works out because you'll speak to the girlies who are in true spring, and I will speak to the girlies that are in this weird between. It's like a false promise. Like, we're promised spring, and then we go outside, and we're like, oh, no. So on that note, what's your favorite shoe? Your go-to must-have shoe for fit girl spring?
Okay, so there's a story behind this shoe, and it's amazing. Please. So when we had our wedding, my sister-in-law, Kelsey, who is the cutest girly, also we are the same human. It's concerning sometimes. We like the same things.
Can confirm.
Yes. And so whenever I like ask her husband, like, what should I get her? He's always showing me, like, he'll be like, these yoga pants or this yoga mat or like these shoes. And I'm like, it's literally what I love. Okay, perfect. So she had these Amazon slides. And weirdly, like all my bridesmaids, like a lot of them had it as well. It was like this trendy slide. I will post it on a story, probably like on our Instagram if people want to see. And like we can highlight this whole thing for them. But it's unisex. So Michael even liked it. And it was like this light beige color. You could get it in white. You could get them in any kind of color. She just had like a beigey, trendy, like aesthetic, beautiful slide. And it was like this material that wasn't like, you know, when sometimes you have slides, they'll like give you blisters. This one did not.
Yes.
It was comfy. It was like plush. And yeah, I can't really describe it, but that's my favorite shoe. And I was telling her, I was like, oh my God, I love this shoe. Will you send me the link? She's like, yes, sends it to me. I'm like, amazing. I'm going to buy it when I get home. Guess who leaves her slides in my hotel room after the wedding?
Oh.
Kelsey. So I used to, like when I first met Michael, and so Michael and his sister lived together for a while. And like this first year dating Michael, and I'd come over and visit, and she was never there. She was always at her boyfriend, now husband's like frat house, staying the night. She was in college. And I loved her style. And I would literally steal her clothes. And I would tell her, like, I would be like, oh yeah, just so you know, I took this, and I'm going back to school at 6 hours away. And she'd be like, she's so like chill. She's like, it's fine. But, you know, I told her, I was like, now that we're sisters, I have to steal things. And she was like, well, you already did it. And she used to steal my stuff too. So I was like, okay, this is my first one as your official sister. So guys, you need these slides. They're amazing. And they probably already know about it if they like watch TikTok, because I think that's how she found them.
Perfect. Love a good Amazon dupe.
Right? Yeah. What's yours?
Mine could not be more polar opposite, but the On Cloud, I pulled up, they're called the 5 waterproof. Anyways, they're the On Cloud shoes. The waterproof ones are phenomenal. Now, I've tried like every kind of waterproof shoe. I have my Nike Geotex or Gore-Tex, whatever you want to call it. It's called Gore-Tex. I screwed up. They're good, but they're like thin. These On Cloud things, first of all, they're kind of warm but breathable. So when it's like a little chilly and rainy, your feet are still warm. They're so comfortable to walk in. Like the only way I can describe it is I feel like I'm walking with proper form when I have these shoes on. Like my stride feels proper. And this is my second pair. I bought the first pair, 3 years old. They're still waterproof, because that's the one thing. Most waterproof stuff is like this glaze over it that goes away. I've gone hiking in them. I've literally jumped in puddles with them. It just never goes away. And I got ballsy this time, and I got the white. And can confirm, so far, it's still 100% prestigiously white. And they're so comfy. And they look like, I won't lie, it's very like that girl aesthetic. It's kind of like that New Balance.
Yes.
Little bit dad shoe. Like, they give that. And if you dress them with some high socks, leggings, and like an oversized sweater like I'm wearing now, they still look cute, and they're waterproof, and they're comfy. And it's just like a perfect shoe. I don't know how to describe it. And they're 100% worth that money. So would 10 out of 10 recommend.
Okay, I love that. I've been really wanting to try that brand. What do you do in this specific shoe, the waterproof? Are you just walking? Do you run? What do you do?
So the cool thing about them is like they have different shoes for every type of workout. Like, for example, New Balance, Asics and all that, they go running shoe or casual shoe. They literally, if you read their description, like, this is a walking shoe, this is a trail running shoe, this is a road running, this is a 10-kilometer shoe. So if you read the description, you can literally pick if you want a walking shoe, a 10-kilometer, and they're all, this says it all. They're all Swiss. It's a Swiss company, like Rolex, and like just like premium. But the ones I have are technically running shoes and walking shoes. So you can run in them or you can walk in them. Then I have another one of their pairs that are just walking shoes. They're like flat bottoms. And then I have a pair of their like just trail, like road running shoes. So they're meant to run long distance on the road. So I've had a couple of them, and they're phenomenal shoes. They just like, I was like, oh, this is how a shoe's supposed to feel. That's how I would describe it.
Okay.
My one caveat, I will mention the one downside about them for my wider foot girls, I find their running shoes are a bit narrower, like a Nike. Their walking shoes are a bit wider. But versus like, I can't wear Adidas because I have really narrow feet. But for my narrow feet girls, they fit so well. So I will give that caveat.
Damn. Well, I'm definitely not a narrow foot girl. Literally, when I like wear heels, I wear like 11s when I'm an 8.5 because my feet are so wide and I can't fit them. Heels are very narrow. If you know, now you know. But that's awesome. I definitely want to try them. Maybe I'll just size up, and I'll let you know because Michael and I've wanted to try that brand for a really long time, and I had no idea that they say what they specialize in because sometimes it can be confusing. Like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not like a pro with my shoes. So, okay, that you've convinced me. I'm going to buy it.
They're worth the money. Trust me. It's like, it's almost like an insider joke now when you see someone with the On Cloud, you're just like, you know. I know New Balances are hype. I have 2 pairs. I love them. But like, everyone's sleeping on the On Cloud.
You know, I wanted the waterproof is what entices me because I run a lot in Puerto Rico, and I was running the other day and I was wearing my Nike Vapor Maxes, and I like them, but I don't know, I don't love them because they're a little narrow and they feel a little uncomfy. And I was running and it started pouring on me and they were sopping wet, and like they were fine, they dried, but it bugged the crap out of me.
So give these a go. Let me know. Once you get them, do a review. We can do a side-by-side review on a future podcast.
Perfect.
Love it. Okay. Number 2, beauty product. What's your go-to spring beauty product?
So this is a product that I have not tried yet, but I ordered them and I'm waiting on Amazon. So I used to be a girl that did eyelash extensions, and then I found Lashify and eyelash like extensions from Amazon that were like $15, and they last me 3 months, save so much time and money. So my friend actually was like, Sav, you get your nails done all the time. You used to get your eyelashes done. She's like, try this certain brand of press-on nails. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. Like, I lift weights. I think they're going to pop off. Like, I think of press-on nails, like when you're a kid and you do the fun press-ons that literally pop off if you like touch something. She was like, no. She's like, I thought so too. Her and I used to go to the same nail salon in Puerto Rico, and she's like, try these. Because she's like, I know you hate waiting at the nail salon. And also right now I have 2 broken from the wedding. Like, I never go and get them done in time, so they break. And so she's like, all you do is pop it back on, and they last about 2 to 3 weeks. And she said that like hers haven't popped off, and she's been like rough with them. I guess she just said like, don't get them too wet. Like, you know, don't be soaking your hands in the dishes. So I'm trying the brand Kiss. I hope I like it. I'll update you ladies once it comes in like a week because I don't have Prime shipping here. But I'm excited. And I'm like, wow, it'll save me money and time. And look at her, self-sufficient right there.
I love it. Please, because it's funny. I've gone to that website. I've almost purchased, but I've always been like, so please let me know. Like, I genuinely want to know if that is legit. Yeah. That just seems so much more efficient. I hate going to get my nails done. It's a waste of time.
I agree. But also I know, like, Whitney's always been into it. And Kylie Ross have loved it. So they always rave about it. So that's where I was like, I don't know, girl. I was like, not really into it. This, I'm like, it was like $7 on Amazon, this brand. So if you don't like it,
that's
maybe,
crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what brand you were looking at. But she sent me this one. And she was like, honestly, it's great. She said it feels like acrylic. I guess there's a difference. Don't get gel, get the acrylic one. And it feels good.
The one I was looking at wasn't even crazy expensive. I'm just like, will I even use this? We'll just collect dust.
Because then you have to take everything off.
That was more my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just let me know.
I will.
Let me know.
Okay. What's yours?
Okay, please. I've told this story once or twice. So if I've already said this on the podcast, please interrupt me about this, because I feel I might have told you. And please forgive me that I'm going to pronounce this so unbelievably wrong. So this serum, it's called Biological Recherche. It's French. So I will link it like you did. We'll link these things. Now, here's the funny story behind it and how I know it's legit. This is going to sound really mean. So I love my mom. I love her, but she's a little older. She's a little outdated. And she got me a gift card to my stepsister's best friend's facial clinic here in Vancouver. And how my mom sold it was like all natural, relaxing. So I hate to say it, I'm thinking it's like hippy dippy. There's a lot of, spiritual. And I'm like, I want medical grade. I want it to work. I don't want to just go to some random, like, they're going to use these weird things that are just going to give me an allergic reaction. My mom and she kept telling me to go. I didn't go. And she finally got me a gift card. I kept not going. And then I was kind of broke and I really needed facial. So I went. And I went. And first of all, this salon was, clinic, I guess, or a facialist place was beautiful. And the service of facial was so relaxing. It was so nice. Like, it's beautiful in there. They massage your face. It was like an hour and a half of bliss. But in my mind, they just put these random, like, organic products on my face. So I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, oh yeah, it was good. This is great. And at the end, they were saying, like, they always say to me, you have really dry skin. Can we recommend a product? And I had this gift card. So, and I felt bad. And they were like, you should really get this. And it's like, got all these French words on it. I'm like, I don't know. So I bought it just because I felt bad. I had a gift card. And it sat in my cupboard for 6 months. And then I ran out of all my skincare. I was using Drunk Elephant at the time, which worked really well for my skin. And I ran out. I was kind of broke. It was just one of those, in our world, some months you have a lot of extra money and some you don't. And so the months I didn't. So I was like, I don't want to buy anything new. I was like, I'll just use this. And I forgot how much money it was because it was on a gift card. And I was just like pounding this thing, like splashing like it was water on my face, not thinking anything of it. Looking back, my skin was looking really good that month, but I didn't think anything of it. I started doing some research about a year ago of what skincare line does Kim Kardashian and Victoria Beckham actually use? Not the stuff they say and they get sponsored by. Like, what are they actually using? And this name kept popping up. And so I looked into it. First of all, the nerve I had to splash this stuff around like it was water. And now knowing that, like, now I cherish every drop like it's like gold. It's like liquid gold. And I was just like, oh, stupid, organic, all natural, dumb product. Like, I didn't realize it was like, it's this French pressed, organic, all natural medical grade. Like, there's only one salon here in Vancouver that can even sell it. Like, you have to get trained in France. Moral of the story, the specific serum I use is the Fez de Sion. In my lack of French pronunciation. If you have dehydrated skin, which a lot of us do because we're training, we're running outside. So even if you have oily skin, you can have dehydrated skin just because, like, aggression from sun and wind and winter. And like, a lot of us are fitness girlies. We're running outside, going on our hot girl walks. This is just like a gulp of water for your face. Like, I have never experienced. And now I've literally changed. It's expensive, but I've literally dropped down my skincare to like 3 products and they all last a long time. So it's like quality versus quantity. And I will say I've never had, I've used a ton of brands. This, I'm like, oh, I actually am getting my money's worth. Like, this is actually transforming my skin. So yeah, I've just got to let everyone know it might be out of your price range, but if you actually want to know what the Kardashians and them are actually using, it's like brands like this, and it is worth every penny if you got the disposable income. And some months I don't have that disposable income, but when I do, my skin's looking good.
I looked up the website and like I can't even look to buy it. I have to like book an online consultation.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's like so hard to even get. So like there's only one place here in Vancouver that like, or there might be two, but like that actually sell it, because you have to get like trained by them.
Wow.
Like so she went to France for many years to get trained to do it. And yeah, so if you, my dehydrated skin girlies, look into it.
I love that. Totally gonna look into that. I'm big on
And
just big on the lotion at the moment.
And just for context, it's $150 for this little bottle. Absurd, I know. It lasts me like 3 months. So when you really think about it, it's like $50 a month for like premium product.
Yeah.
So
there's
still
still
expensive,
people that use
but
retinol, and that's like $90 a bottle.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of in that. I'd rather use one thing, like 3 really good things, than 8 cheaper things. Mm-hmm. And that's just me.
No,
but
definitely.
anyways, that was my funny story. That kind of went on a tangent.
I love that. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Just stupid me being like, oh, stupid, and just pouring it like it was nothing.
Isn't that the worst
like,
when you realize how much it is?
Oh, I feel so dumb. I felt so dumb. I was like, you idiot. Like I like used it on my hands. Like just be like, oh, a little extra.
Yeah, I love that. You know, Michael's mom is, she works with Lemire. It's like a skincare. And so she always gets us goodies. That's like her love language is gifts.
Oh, nice.
And you ever need samples, I got you. And so I'll show her what I really like. And then she'll like basically go get me like the full-blown treatment of it or whatever it may be. Yeah.
Goals.
I know. I'm like, I love you. I'm so spoiled.
Also, though, I just want to premise, because Glow is a small local company. If you're in Vancouver, you need a good facial. This is not sponsored. Just go to Glow. They'll change your skin, and it's the most relaxing, enjoyable thing. But enough. I went on a tangent. What is your go-to coffee order lately for spring?
Okay, my go-to coffee order, honestly, I'm not a girl that switches it up with her coffee. But I don't know. One day I just felt a little daring, and instead of my iced Americano, and I always do Americanos because there's more caffeine in it, instead of 3 pumps white mocha, I'm doing 2 pumps of white mocha and 1 pump of hazelnut. I don't know why. I don't want to let go of the winter. I don't want to let go of hazelnut vibes of chestnuts and praline and everything like that. So I don't know. That's my go-to, but I honestly just didn't have a fun coffee order for you other than that.
That sounds delicious. That's fun in my mind. That's funner than the one I'm about to give, which mine's more of the opposite when you're talking about caffeine. Mine's quite the opposite, but I've recently given up energy drinks. And I used to have one pretty much every morning. I occasionally will treat myself, so I'm not like cold, like 1 or 2 a month now. But I would have an espresso in the morning, energy drink, and then go to Starbucks and get a grande drink, all before noon. Which, like, honestly, I have a very high caffeine tolerance, but I did the math, and that right there is a good, like, 600 milligrams of caffeine before noon. Alarming. So, Andrew Huberman's all about reducing caffeine the first 90 minutes. I can't do that, so I've been placeboing myself. So, I still have my espresso in the morning, which is like 75 milligrams of caffeine, not that much. I swap the energy drink with Element, and then later on, I'll have an almond milk cappuccino. And just as like, I know this kind of sounds funny, but if anyone like me is trying to reduce their caffeine consumption, I found swapping it for Element or an electrolyte drink is a really easy swap, because it still gives that like same like sweet citrusy flavor of an energy drink. And I find it gives me better energy without the crash in the afternoon when I have the electrolytes. Like, it was the easiest swap in the world. It's like I barely even swapped it doing that. Mm-hmm. So there's my little, for the girlies. And also I started ordering tall cappuccinos instead of grande Americanos, because I realized that's a lot of caffeine. And so I'm trying to lower it back. So now I'm like under 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. And that's baby steps.
That's amazing.
So, this little coffee hack.
Yeah, I have seen your coffee or your caffeine addiction firsthand, and I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm a couple months into it, and now I usually probably do 250 to 300 milligrams a day. And I know that's a little crazy that I'm calculating it, but I'm like, I just needed to monitor it because I'm sure I had like 800 milligrams some days without realizing it, just because I love coffee. I love it. I love the taste of coffee and energy drinks. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. I mean, I like in the same way where I love having coffee, but it's not even like, my body is unfazed. Like, it doesn't need caffeine. It doesn't wake me up. I just like the taste. I like the ritual. And I remember in college, I was constantly buying iced Americanos with caramel sauce. Still love them. And not the syrup, the sauce. And so I would go every day when I was working in college to go get an iced Americano. It was like my special treat. And I didn't make a lot of money. And, you know, I was working part-time as a student. And like, it was like eating at like my budget. So I was like, okay. I didn't like making them at home. I didn't have a coffee machine nor money to spend on a coffee machine. So I said, okay. And for the New Year's, I literally gave up coffee and I just got into the habit of bringing tea to work instead. And you could go to your coffee shop. And I mean, it was on campus. So like they would give me hot water and wouldn't charge me, or maybe it was like 5 cents. I have no idea. And that's what I would do. And I would literally like make a chai tea or something. And then I went like 4 months with it solely. It wasn't even like to cut caffeine because I still had tea, even though that's, less caffeine. It was simply because budget wise, I had to cut it out. And I just was like, after a while, I didn't even miss it. And then I think I just like one day was like, oh, I'll get a latte. And then that's how the addiction started again. But
always like that.
It's just funny. If you do it for like long enough, you get out of that habit of whatever it may be, like that energy drink, and like you won't really miss it. Like you will at first, and then you're kind of like, indifferent until you get back on the train.
Yep, always. Well, there's a little hack for those trying to give up coffee, decaf or tea. Those give you up energy drinks, electrolytes. And I will give one shout out then to my coffee order. An almond milk cappuccino from DeVille, Deville in Vancouver. My go-to cappuccino. So I just had to give a little small local business shout out.
Love it. Aren't you European with your cappuccinos?
Oh, I love a cappuccino. It's so good. Okay. Number 4. What's been your go-to workout app / program? Anything you've been following lately?
Okay. This is for my coming spring. And this is something that I literally talked about like Friday. And was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I talked to my friend Millie about it because I'm like, I love sunrise. I love doing yoga. I like getting out, and like I live near the beach and I don't go enough. And like it's because I'm lazy, or I like stay up watching a show or something. So her and I like vowed that like twice a week, her and I will go for a sunrise walk together at the beach and like hold each other accountable. But I also told her, I was like, I kind of want to get back into sunrise yoga. And I used to do it. And I lived closer to the beach last year. And so I would just golf cart over, take out a mat, and it was super easy. I would just pop in a headphone and I would put it next to me on my phone. And I just watch a YouTube video on like 10 minutes of yoga stretching. I don't even remember. I think I would just like find random people I liked. So it's not necessarily an app, but it's a free program that you could do where you could literally just get up. Springtime, things are heating up. Flowers are starting to bloom. You could just like I feel like sun's kind of coming out earlier at this point when we go, spring forward. So then you can go ahead, get a cup of coffee, get your yoga mat out, and just do 10 minutes when you wake up and see how you feel. And that's something I'm like, I used to do, and I'm just going to get back into it.
Oh my God. I love that. I'm honestly going to just like literally ditch what I was going to say and just because I was going to give an app, but what you said was so good. So I thought I would just recommend some YouTube yoga girls because I just did a video on it. So that's what I was just pulling up. Perfect. And so I was like, I'm just going to give some resources for you guys. So some of my favorites, Yoga with Ardeen. She is the GOAT. I love Moves with Nicole. She's amazing. Beth does yoga. And then a lot of like Lululemon, Aloe Yoga, all those places do give free videos. And then I do love their apps, Aloe's app and Lulu's app, but they are paid. But those 3 girls, if you go to my YouTube, I did talk about it more, but those 3 come to mind is like, they're amazing. And they're like on the beach and Moves, Melissa Wood Health is another one. Anyways, those are like my go-to yoga girlies. So if you want a little, just instead of going to yoga class, just put up a mat and do it yourself. And if you have access to a beach, that sounds heavenly. So that's why I was like scrapping mine, and I'm just piggybacking off yours. I wish I could do that, but that sounds phenomenal.
I love that. Just do it in your parka.
Yeah. I danced in my parka on this week's YouTube video. So if you know, you know. So
there you go.
You guys are out in your bikinis doing your yoga, and I'm dancing in a tent.
I love it. In a tent.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Because they're like down to your ankles. It's like, we like to pretend it's chic. It's not. It's a tent.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay, well then we're going to jump off to the next one because I kind of just piggybacked off yours. What's your go-to fitness accessory / tech item?
Okay, so I'm not really into fit tech, but I do have an accessory that I am obsessed with, and it has replaced my hydro flask. And that is my Ghost came out with stainless steel shaker cups, and I'm obsessed with them because they're dishwasher safe. And I don't know, I used to hate shaker cups because I hate when they're plastic and like they always smell like the BCAAs or the pre-workout that you put in, and it just would gross me out. The stainless steel cup is just phenomenal. I put ice in it. It stays cold all day. And yeah, I 10 out of 10 just recommend getting a stainless steel shaker cup. And I've been actually incorporating my greens a lot more with it. So what I do is just before I go to the gym, I pop greens in it. And like, if I make myself a cup of greens, I won't finish those greens because I'm like, oh, I'd rather like go to coffee. I'd rather go to water, whatever it is. If I do it in my shaker cup and I go to the gym and I'm thirsty, I'm going to slurp down those greens. So that's how I'm taking my greens in at the moment.
I love it. Good. You know my love for a good stainless steel water bottle. Like that speaks to my soul. So
absolutely.
I love it. It's my most prized possession. Now my fitness tech, I'm still trying to figure out, but I'd love to know if you guys want to know more about it. So have you heard of 8 Sleep?
No, I have not.
It's like Andrew Huberman, Tim Ferriss talks about a bunch of big YouTubers. It's this like pod that goes over top of your mattress, and you can control the temperature of your mattress, like down to like how hot, how cold you want it. And it has an algorithm that like cools down while you sleep because it improves your REM and deep sleep, but you don't feel like you're asleep, but it's like controlling it to make sure you have like good sleep. Anyways, it's a long story, but one magically appeared. And it took me 2 weeks to figure out what the hell, like how this thing, I thought Megs gifted it to me. I was like, am I doing a sponsorship? And my manager's like, oh, no, you're not. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? And I couldn't track it down. I just kept getting boxes from 8 Sleep.
Wow.
And I was like, I looked, they had to DM me. I was like, did I drunkenly buy one? I don't know. Because I'd considered buying one like a week prior for Megs for his birthday. And then one shows up. I'm like, oh my God, did I actually buy it? Long story. After several weeks, we found out they did gift it to me, but with like no contract, nothing. They were just like, oh, test it out.
Oh.
So very nice. But I'm currently testing it out for you guys. And I won't lie, I don't know how to work it, but I would just love to know if you guys want like a full in-depth. But so far, it tracks like your sleep. And so you can see like how much REM or deep. So I love that. And it has something I never realized is so nice. It has a vibrating alarm. So it, like you usually wake up to your, it jolts you out of bed. It's just like and it's even, I've tried on like the highest setting. It always wakes me up, but it's never abrupt. It's just kind of like if someone were to like very lightly shake you, just kind of, you know what I mean? If your mom were to kind of be like, oh, honey, it's like that kind of vibe. And you wake up and you're just like, oh yeah, it's so like a nice way to wake up. So
wow. So I'm confused. It's a cover for your mattress, or you can get in a mattress. I'm looking it up online.
Exactly. Yeah. So they sent me the pod cover, not the mattress, because I didn't get a choice. It just showed up. But I also love my mattress, so I wouldn't have wanted that, thank God. But I just, for whatever reason, the temperature control is not my friend, but their customer service is amazing. I've had so many hiccups setting this thing up because I have to set it up alone, and it's a beast. So I think I've just royally fucked it up like 8 times trying to set it up myself. But you message them on the app at like 2 a.m, and they get back to you instantly. And like, so it's just me getting frustrated with it, and I should just contact customer service again. But so far, I'm intrigued. I'll have a full review, but
yeah, I'm so curious. I mean, it's expensive. Like it's a proper thing.
Well, that's why I'm so excited, because I've so many girls have DM'd me, because I'm one, that's kind of my thing. I test fitness gadgets on YouTube, and this one I've gotten so many DMs, but I'm like, I'm not spending that money if I don't know if it's going to be good.
Yeah,
but I got us one for free with no, like, they didn't send me a contract where like you have to speak nicely about the brand. I didn't ask for it. It just showed up. So I'm going to be brutally honest once I have the review for you all. So it's coming.
Andrew Huberman probably just heard you joking that he's like your husband. And he was like, here you go, ma'am. Also, what you said you had tea on it. Is that the tea?
Well, the tea is that like it's not working, the heat and cold. Like I think I really screwed it up.
Too
but like
hard to set
right
up.
now,
okay.
I don't know what it is, but like it's all like, oh, hot and cold. I'm like, that'd be cool if it worked. And also it does make your mattress a little hard, because my mattress is a little too big for it. So if you have a really big mattress, it might make your soft mattress a little firmer. But
okay. Wow, that's
a little downside. That's my initial review of it so far. So more review coming.
Yeah.
DM us if you have any questions, or if you don't give an F, then I'll never speak of it again.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear about it. It's like $2,500 for the cover for a king.
I know.
That's where I'm like,
crazy.
If something is like high ticket, you expect like it to be life changing. So I'm excited. I hope it is.
I know. Well, so far the customer service is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
sleep is probably one of the best investments that you can do.
I will say the best investment I ever purchased. I haven't really had furniture in my apartment for like 2 years, as we've talked about. I have that couch, and I just finally bought a bed frame, or just like a foundation. I've just been sleeping on a mattress because I spent all my money on a nice mattress, and it was 100% worth sleeping on a mattress on the ground for 2 years. It was the best purchase I've ever made. Like
That's
10 out of 10. Because you like a good sleep, you wake up without aches and pains. Like that's, yeah. So what? I didn't have a coffee table for 2 years. I had great sleep.
I agree.
Priorities.
Also, like you can definitely buy on Amazon like a what is it called? A mattress frame for like $50.
That's what I ended up doing. But that's how like stubborn I am. Like I will.
It took you 2 years
it's a
to
fault.
do that?
I'm so bad that like if I want something, I want it quality, I want it to work, I want to get something, and then I just won't buy anything else. So like people are like, ooh, you buy something bougie. I'm like, and then I won't buy anything else.
See, I am literally the opposite. I'd rather have it all, but like not as nice quality.
So I'd rather have one nice thing, and like I don't need the rest. Just give me the one nice.
Makes sense.
I'd rather have one really nice pair of shoes and just have the one pair of shoes than having like three. Which is more, either, if you want, both are pros and cons. And that's the reality of not being a billionaire. You got to pick one or the other.
You got to pick one. And, you know, I guess clothes, I get it. I would rather invest in nice clothes. But when it comes to, like, furniture, I think maybe I'm just so used to moving that I'm like, I don't care. Like, this isn't my forever couch or my forever bed. Yeah. Maybe one day, like, I don't know. I'm like, maybe if we ever have children and we like properly settle down somewhere, then maybe it'll be different. But let's hope I'm a billionaire.
Yeah, true. But I was like, but that's exactly why.
Like the Kardashians, their home is like whatever would be nicer than Restoration Hardware. I swear, it's just like, it's like not even Restoration Hardware. It's something cooler. I'm like, what the heck?
They have the money that they buy brands that I don't know exist. Like that's the level of wealth they have. That like a Kim Kardashian brand is like, we think like just Chanel and Restoration Hardware and CB2. And then they're going to some custom made France furniture shop that I will never hear the name of. And it's probably phenomenal. And I'll never know. And it's probably best I never know.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know what I'm missing out on.
My one thing I would love to splurge on if I was not even a billionaire, a millionaire. It would be I don't know if millionaires would even do this. The one thing I would splurge on if I was a billionaire is I would say you buy a house. I'd hire an interior designer and I'd say, when I get to the house, I want it to be completely made up. That would be my dream. I hate decorating. I hate moving shit. I would just want it all put in, and I think there is nothing more luxurious than you getting into your brand new home and, oh, look, your underwear is already put away. I think that sounds phenomenal. That's luxury.
That's That's one of those things I'm like, I would like that. And then you're like, I have to somehow develop a Fortune 500 company in the next 5 years. And that's not going to happen. So I just got to accept that.
You never know.
Nice fantasy.
Don't downplay yourself.
True. You know what? I might invest really well. I might have a, top 40 hit. And who knows what happens? Maybe 100 million viewed YouTube video and I just retire.
Maybe you're the next Mr. Beast.
Definitely not. But I would love that. That's a different world. I don't need to be the next Mr. Beast. I was like, I don't want to manage that many people. I would love to have a #1 chart topping song or a trending YouTube video. But to Mr. Beast is just like a CEO. I don't really want to be a CEO.
Okay. You want to live a humble, quiet life. Honestly, I don't know much about Mr. Beast, if I'm being real. I don't really watch. I watch fitness YouTubers. That's about it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to relate on your YouTube life, okay?
I was. And I would love but just realize he's got like 500 employees. That's why I was like, I still want to be a YouTuber. I don't want to manage people. He manages people. And then he gets to be the face of it. I was like, I'd rather just make stuff and film stuff. And you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You want it to just be fun, lighthearted.
I just don't want to have to tell people everything they have to do. Like I said, I just don't want to manage.
Been there, done that, huh?
Yep, exactly. But to put a nice cap on this video, what has been your go-to drink order lately?
Well, my go-to drink order, when I'm on the island, I like lychee martinis. That's like my go-to thing here. But for springtime, my favorite go-to drink, like when I was living in California, when things were starting to warm up, was gin and tonics with elderflower. Is it Fever Tree? It's a brand.
Fever Tree. I don't think I've heard it. Oh, I was going to say.
Tonic water, and you could do elderflower.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I would do that with some rosemary in it or fruit. And that was easy. You could literally go buy a bag of frozen fruit and then... I don't know. I just think it's nice, refreshing, and it gives me a spring AF vibe. What is yours?
Okay, so I've kind of invented a drink that I'm going to try this weekend, and I know it will be good, but I'm going to inspire the girlies to make it this weekend. Now, for me, top 2 flavors of things. One creamsicle, the other blue raz. Just like a phenomenal drink. So I designed a fit girl, healthy blue raz flavored drink, because normally they're all like, all the blue Querco and all that, and it's like super sugary and it's just a hangover in a glass. Okay, here's how you're gonna make it. You're gonna take a glass, you're gonna muddle blackberry and some lemon. So muddle that at the bottom, so like freshly squeezed lemon and blackberry. Now, sweetener of your choice. This is where I was like, you want to put in Splenda, you want to put simple syrup. If you want to put in, whatever you want to feel to sweeten it. Or you can just use Diet 7-Up, or you can use real 7-Up. But anyways, you're going to muddle that together. You're going to top it with 1.5 ounces of tequila or vodka, and then fill it up with soda water. And to really give it that blue, because a blackberry will make it kind of bluish, but put in a little drop of food coloring, or depending if you have it or not, spirulina. You just put a little bit in, will make it blue, and it's got all the health benefits. But you just got to be careful, because if you put in too much, it will taste fishy. So just a little amount to make. Yeah, spirulina. If you don't know what it is, it's like type of kelp. Yeah. So like it can be really seaweedy tasting.
Totally.
So right there, beautiful. And if you really, because blue raz isn't just technically like blackberry or raspberry, it's like a combo. So if you really want to go full out, muddle in a little bit of raspberries and cherries, and then it really tastes blue raz. But I'm lazy. I would just do lemon and blackberry muddled, and with 7-Up or soda water, and you got yourself like a hangover-free, depending how much you drink of them, but like a low sugar, got some vitamins in there, you got some real lemon, instead of like the artificial flavoring one, blue raspberry drink.
I love that. That's fun. It reminds me of a AMF, but not as bad. That's the only drink I've... Adios, motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's like, I don't know what was in it. I just remember it in college, but it was that weird blue color. Like toilet bowl blue.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, sour mix. So yeah, they just like it would just be a sour mix, so that I would depend on the place and I'm butchering it, but it's just like a syrupy sour sugar thing mixed in that gives it that blue. And that's why I was like, I could just say blue raz and say like blue Quarko and or blue flavored vodkas, but I was like, what's a bit more of like a less chemical bomb
I like
to
that.
put in there kind of version, but still make it blue. So I thought about that yesterday. I was like, ooh, that would be good. I'm going to try it. So I thought I'd let you girls know.
Perfect. Should we end on you have a question?
I do. So if you guys didn't know, we do a confession session at the end of most of our episodes. So if you want to DM us, we will maybe read it in your next episode. So this viewer submitted in after us talking about our plastic surgery topic last week, not last year. She's like, in the past, let me read. Plastic surgery is such a big topic today, as in the past week I feel like I've heard more conversations about it. So many influencers are getting plastic surgery, and then there are people saying, good for them, but remember you're perfect the way you are. I feel like I'm stuck in this weird middle of it all. On top of that, my mom just told me she's getting a boob job. And at first I was disappointed because her and I are both flat-chested, so it was always nice having someone there who gets it when I got made fun of for no boobs. Also, I have an 11-year-old sister, which is at a very impressionable age. That's the age you're in middle school and become more aware of what you look like and how it looks compared to others. So I want to set an example for her that you don't have to change your body to love yourself, and you can embrace how you are now. It's just hard when I'm away from my mom I'm aware my mom is the main influence on her. At the same time, though, I'm really happy for mom. She lost a lot of confidence. She lost a lot of confidence most of my childhood, and it's so nice seeing her get back. I think everyone deserves to feel sexy and empowered. She deserves it, and it's something she always wanted, and I'm so happy that she can feel her best. I'm just kind of confused on how to think about all this commotion. So, I haven't a thought, but I'd love to hear your thought on this.
That's tough. I mean, I really like how respectful she is about it.
Very.
Doesn't seem like she's coming at a side of attacking, even if she doesn't necessarily believe it. I don't know. I think like, so she's essentially asking us how to approach talking to her mom.
No, I think it's just like how to do that
thoughts.
dynamic. That like I think the perspective is that she's worried her mom is going to make her
Little sister
younger sister.
Yeah.
Like it almost introduce her to a insecurity she might not have. And then suddenly she'll think, oh, my mom's getting that change. Do I have that insecurity? And I guess if I could just jump in as someone who's an older sister, my recommendation is, first of all, I want to say like so amazing that you're just like self-aware of your situation and like how you're so proud of your own body and you want your sister to have that. But then at the same time, you also see it from your mom's side of like how that will boost her confidence. And I think that's just a lot of being in a family. It's like you're kind of the middleman. And I think the best thing you can do is, the reality is, and it sucks, but we all look back, and as much as we want to hide our younger siblings or our kids from the world, we can't shelter them because those insecurities, like your younger sister is going to learn that like big boobs are praised at one point. Now, the one thing I would say if I was in your shoes is, I now, as someone who's flat-chested and loves it, and I've also been big-chested and loved it at one time, is like, just show that you can have both. And I think that's great. Like, have her mom be proud that she will have big boobs and embrace that feminine curve and that look and love it. And then show your younger sister that you love wearing a bandeau top and being flat-chested and you love wearing this low thing. So I think it was just like showing her that neither are wrong or right, and that like your mom has bigger ones and loves it, and you will have smaller ones and you love it. And that would be like my thing, is like just lead by example, in the sense of like maybe just making sure your younger sister sees that you enjoy that side, and then just educate her along it that like you don't have to change, and your mom's doing it hopefully to boost her confidence, and she's doing it older, and your younger sister isn't like broken because she doesn't have big boobs. So just kind of explain that to her. Did I explain that well?
Yeah, I think you did. And I think you bring up the point of like, you know, she's going to find out one way or the other about, you know, people's thoughts on the size of your breast. So whether it's her mother or it's someone cracking a joke at her in school, you know, I think also maybe just talk to your mother about it and say like, these are my worries. And I think your mother could empathize with that, especially if that's something she's been dealing with her whole life. and just be like, because it sounds like she is very coming from a loving space and loves her mother, and just say like, these are my one, qualms, my one worries. I think you should still get it. Absolutely. You're your own person. But how should we approach this, with the younger sister? I think that would be very helpful. But yeah, that's an interesting dynamic. Like, I guess I'm the youngest. Like, I have an older brother, but I mean, in my family, like I was the first one to ever get plastic surgery. Like, that wasn't even an option. Like, just wasn't even a conversation. So it's interesting. Like, I don't know. I've never really experienced that.
I guess it just open dialogue. And I think as someone who has never raised a child, I don't know. I've just been a big sister.
Like, neither of us
in your shoes. Yeah, I think just as, like you said, just being in a big sister role, I think the best thing you can do is like beat society to the punch sometimes. Like, that's what elders are for. Like, instead of like, I think something I'll just use this as an example, alcohol. I'm not going to like tell my younger brother that there's no such thing as alcohol. I was just like, yo, that's the best thing about being the younger sibling is like your older sibling had to go through it and F up. So you already learned to like embrace yourself, that society's going to say that you love your small boobs. So just like tell your little sister that, and like tell her all the pros of it. And that, like, not saying that like getting the boobs is the wrong option, not getting it. I'm not saying that, but if you just tell her and just talk to her, and just like, I think me and my brother had a lot of those conversations. It's like, I just beat the mean kids at school to tell him. And I said it, I didn't just be like, yo, you're 12, it's time to learn about meth. Like, you don't go straight into the deep end. Like, but you just teach like little things and just kind of like help guide them. And that's what you can kind of do. And maybe just all have an open conversation. You're also not the mom, so maybe have your mom also mention this to her, and you could have a group conversation. I don't know your guys' dynamic, but like I said, don't corrupt your younger siblings, but sometimes you got to teach them things before the world does, and that's kind of nice.
When in doubt, go on the episode of Full House when Becca teaches DJ Tanner how to put makeup on. That's literally how I learned how to put makeup on, was from Full House, watching the episode. And also she has an episode where literally she gets in trouble. I think she gets in trouble for like stuffing her bra or something, or like she realizes she doesn't have big boobs. Like, literally those shows were so impressionable on me, because I had a brother. Oh, yeah. No one talked about this, and my mom, like, I don't even think she talked about, like, she made me read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which is becoming a movie now. Yeah. Like, like my mom did a fantastic job, but I don't think she knew how to do it either. So it was like I think I literally watched Full House, and like they educated me on things. Like,
yeah. And I guess I should also say I'm not a psychologist. That is very unsolicited advice. It's just my only claim to fame is I didn't screw up my younger brother, and that's all I got. I don't have a younger sister, so you have to read your own dynamic. But that's just older sister advice. Yeah. Hold the hand of your younger sibling, guide them through life. That's what you're there for. And sometimes you're like, you look at your parent and you're like, what? Why am I doing this? And that's, I was there. So I've been to my father, I'm like, what? Why am I the one in charge? And it's just the reality.
Also, at the end of the day, regardless if she's the big sister or not, like, it's not really her responsibility. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a big brother. Mm-hmm. My brother and I have a very complicated relationship, and always have, probably always will. And I wouldn't say he really looked out for me in general. We kind of kept to ourselves, and I turned out just fine. Became extremely independent. So regardless, she's so lucky to have you. I wish I had, had that growing up, but I didn't, even though I had someone that should have been, and I still turned out fine. And I still, Yeah. But then again, I got a boob job, so did I turn out fine?
Yeah, true. Well, so a little funny. No pressure, but no pressure. You screw up, she's getting boobs. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I'm jokes. But I just thought it was funny, Oops.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Should we wrap that up?
Yeah. On that, there's our little recommendations, our professional advice, just from two girls that have like working out, and one that happens to be an older sister.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully that was helpful, or burn it to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. But if you guys want some of our random advice, slide into our Instagram at Hitting the Bars, and we read those, and we love to read it. Also, say if you want us to say your name, because I'm always going to not unless you ask for it, because I'd rather just keep it anonymous and the reverse. So if you're like, shout me out, it's Melissa, I will shout you out.
Perfect. All right. Well, with that being said, we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.